Today we'll be taking a look at the movie forms that several Reiwa-era Kamen riders unlocked in their respective movies, forms that didn't just make a one-time appearance, but later returned in other movies and, in some cases, even in the main TV series themselves. So with many more forms beyond the ones currently on your screen, let's jump right into the evolution of Reiwa-era Kamen riders' movie forms and discover them all. The first of the movie forms we'll be covering is 01's Berserk Extra Final form, Hellrising Hopper, which he obtained in the real-time movie by using the Hellrise Progress Key and the hidden 01 driver. He used it in this movie to fight Kamen Rider Eden. Here, Aruto hidden battles Eden in a feral, completely out of control state, building up energy as the fight goes on and then releasing it in a final explosion that forcibly detransforms Eden. As he attempts to finish him off with the form's signature Rider Punch, Hellrising Impact, 02 intervenes. As a result, although it proves difficult, Aruto is ultimately freed from both the form and its influence. Kamen Rider Saber has two different forms that appear more than once. The first is Emotional Dragon, a form he gains by using the Emotional Dragon Wonder Ride book in the Seiken Sword Driver. He first obtains this form in the Phoenix Swordsman and the Book of Ruin to battle Kamen Rider Falchion, and later uses it again in episode 35 of his eponymous TV series, titled And I Will Become a God, where he once again faces Falchion. In both encounters, he defeats Falchion with ease, demonstrating the form's capabilities and power. The second is Superhero Senki, a fusion form achieved by using the Superhero Senki Wonder Ride book in the Seiken Sword Driver. He gains access to this form in Superhero Senki after obtaining the power of Zenkaiza. Drawing its strength from both Super Sentai and Kamen Rider, this form allows Saber to confront Asmodeus alongside the primary Kamen Riders and the Red Super Sentai Rangers, ultimately contributing to his destruction. Kamen Rider Valkyrie has a final form called Justice Serval, which she gained by using the Serval Tiger Zetsumaraisuke in the aimed shot riser in the movie Kamen Rider Vulcan and Valkyrie. She used this form to fight Kamen Rider Metsubu Jinrai. Although she struggled a lot in the battle against it, Valkyrie was ultimately overpowered by it, but at least when Metsubu Jinrai landed the finishing blow with the Rider Kick, she struck its driver in return, which forced it to retreat. The final 01 rider to receive a movie form is Kamen Rider Vulcan. Appearing in the same movie as Valkyrie, he transforms into his second extra final form, Lone Wolf, by using the Dire Wolf Zetsumaraisuke with the assault grip attached in the 01 driver. In the movie, Vulcan confronts Metsubu Jinrai in a forest to avenge Valkyrie, leading to a lengthy and intense battle between the two. However, regardless of how long the fight lasts, Vulcan eventually gains the upper hand thanks to the durability and abilities of this form, ultimately defeating and destroying it. There are three different forms that Revice unlocks in the movie Beyond Generations. The first is this fusion form, which appears when Kamen Rider Revi and Vice merge into Revice Condor through the use of the Condor Vistamp's remix function in the Revice driver. We only see it very briefly during the scene where they save Kamen Rider Century from Diablo. The second is the Neo-Bata Genome forms, which Revi and Vice transform into separately after using the Neo-Bata Vistamp in the Revice driver. These forms appear in three different instances, first in this movie when they confront Diablo, second in episode 22 of the TV series, titled Slam Bang, Kuki Kaiden, where Revi fights Shark Deadman and Vice fights Elephant Deadman separately before they ultimately join forces and destroy the Deadman, and third and final time in Battle Familia, where they are briefly seen defeating Numerous Gift Jr. together. The third form is the Revice Neo-Bata Fusion form, which they achieve by using the Neo-Bata Vistamp's remix function in the Revice driver and merging together. Making use of this form's abilities to grow giant and split into smaller versions of itself, they fight alongside Saber and Century against Diablo, ultimately bringing about his defeat. We only see Kamen Rider Falchion's Amazing Siren form, obtained through the use of the Amazing Siren Wonder Ride book in the Heiken Blad driver, in the movie trio of Deep Sin, where it is used by three different users. The first of the Void Swordsmen is Shinjiro Shinozaki. In the movie, after confronting his son, Rintaro Shindo, who has taken on his Blade's form, and fighting him for some time, he is ultimately killed by him. The second Void Swordswoman is Yuina Tachibana, who won Kento Fukumiya's love and eventually became engaged to him in order to avenge her deceased fiancé. In the end, after fighting her fake fiancé, she is defeated by Kento, who has transformed into Espada's new form, which I will talk about shortly. The third and main Void Swordsman, who grants this power to the other two riders, is Mamiya. We briefly see him several times carrying out ruthless attacks against Toma Kamiyama's son and dog. However, during his prolonged battle with Toma in his saber form, Toma's son confronts him with his sword. At that moment, the shockwave created by the clash causes Mamiya's suppressed memories to return, freeing him from both that rider form and its power. The last rider to gain a form from the Saber Riders is Espada, who transformed into his final form, Arabiana Knight, only in the movie mentioned earlier by using the Arabiana Knight Wonder Ride book with the Geku Reimaiken Ikazuchi and the Seiken Swordriver. As you already learned when we discussed Falchion's movie form, Espada obtained this form while fighting his fake fiancée and was then able to defeat her with ease. Unlike Revice, Revi also possesses three separate individual forms. The first of these is Kamen Rider Igarashi, a fusion form achieved by combining with Kamen Rider Live and Jenny through the use of the 50 Gale Vistamp in the Revice driver. We have only seen this form in the movie Battle Familia, where it fought against numerous Gift Jr., primarily the Giftarians, ultimately destroying all of them. The second is Beat form, which appeared in movie Battle Royale when Revi used the beat buckle on the right-hand slot of the desired driver. In this form, he fought against Kamen Rider Seeker, Ryuga, and Knight. The third and final form is Beat Armed Propeller form, whose powers were unlocked in the same movie by using the beat buckle on the right-hand slot and the propeller buckle on the left-hand slot of the desired driver. Revi made extensive use of this form alongside Kamen Rider Geats in aerial combat against Seeker, allowing them to fight with ease in the sky. Although not to the same extent as Revi, Vice also has his own individual form, Monster form, which he transformed into in the last movie I mentioned by using the monster buckle in the right-hand slot of the desired driver, and he fought against Kamen Rider Seeker and Oja in that form. By using the Megabad Vistamp in the Revice driver, Kamen Rider Live transformed into his extra final form, Live Marvelous, while Evil transformed into his final form, Evil Marvelous, together in the movie Kamen Rider Live and Evil and Demons. They initially confronted and defeated the level 1 Transamza mutants individually, and then faced Shinichiro Sumi, who had transformed into level 3 Transamza after absorbing their powers. After fighting him together and ultimately causing his destruction, the duo, as their final confrontation, joined forces with Kamen Rider Demons to take on level 4 Transamza. They defeated him in the final battle, bringing the movie to an end right there. In the same movie, Demons transformed into his final form by using the giant spider Vistamp in the Demons driver and challenged level 2 Transamza as Imperial Demons. After exhausting Transamza sufficiently, he used the Crocodile and Komodo Dragon Vistamps in the Demons driver, taking on Imperial Demons combined Genomix form, Crocodile Genomix plus Komodo Dragon Genomix, and finished off that Transamza. As I mentioned earlier, in the end, Demons combined his power with Live and Evil, and together they ultimately defeated the level 4 Transamza mutant. Earlier, Lopo, who had obtained boost form using the Fever Slot buckle in the Geats series, transformed into this form in the movie Four Aces and the Black Fox by using the boost buckle on the right-hand slot of the desired driver. In this form, she not only fought against Bishop Jayamato alongside Kamen Rider Nago, but also supported Kamen Rider Geats together with the other riders in defeating Cross Geats. As with the other riders you have seen before, Geats also possesses 3 different forms. One of Ace Yukio's iterations, Ace of Heart, has an extra final form called Geats Oneness, which appears only in the movie I mentioned earlier. He transforms into this form by using the Geats Oneness Core ID in the Desire Driver, along with the Oneness Buckle containing the Ride Kimi card of Kamen Rider Geats Oneness version and the Boost Mark III Buckle. In this form, he fought against both the normal-sized and giant-sized forms of Cross Geats and, after gathering strength with the support of the other Geats riders, launched a final assault that ultimately led to Cross Geats' destruction. His second form is Monster Magnum form, which he transforms into by using the Monster Buckle on the right-hand slot and the Magnum Buckle on the left-hand slot of the Desire Driver. He used this form to fight the Mahutsukaja Yamatos. His final form is Armed Propeller, which he transforms into by using the Propeller Buckle on the right-hand slot of the Desire Driver. After obtaining this form, he used it to fly into X Fortress with Rene Kudo. The next primary rider, Kamen Rider Gotchard, also possesses various forms, the first of which debuted in the Gotchard and Geats' Strongest Kimi, Great Gotcha Operation movie. By using the X-Assemble Ride Kimi card and the X-Gotchaliber combined Gotcha driver, he transformed into Star Gotchard. Wielding the combined powers of 5 level 10 Chimis, he battled Geats' Killer in this form and, after showcasing its abilities, ultimately brought about Geats' Killer's downfall alongside Kamen Rider Geats. Another form is the Miracle Gotchard Extra Final form, obtained through the use of the Hopper 101 and Gigantliner Ride Kimi cards in the Nijigen combined Gotcha driver. Using this form, he became gigantic, and when he grew giant, he combined the form with Gigantliner and, together with Kamen Rider Majade and Gotchard Daybreak, literally tore through Dark King, ultimately bringing about his end. Kamen Rider Buffa also has a movie form, which he transformed into in the Giamato Awakening movie by using the Plosion Rage Buckle and the Desire Driver, gaining his extra final form known as Plosion Rage. In this movie, Buffa showcased the form's durability, power, and abilities in both his battle against Kamen Rider Doom's Geats and his fight against King Giamato. After leaving the battle against Doom's Geats to Geats, he joined forces with Kamen Rider Tycoon and Nago to finish off King Giamato, ultimately contributing to his defeat. Despite the fact that Gotchard Daybreak's movie form was introduced for the first and last time in the future Daybreak, we only get to see his final form, Gotchard Shining Daybreak, which he obtains by using the Shining Hopper 1 and Shining Steamliner Ride Kimi cards in the Daybreak version of the Gotcha driver, for a very brief period in the movie. We only see his form during the final battle, when he tries to move the Gigantliner together with Gotchard and Majade, and when the three of them pass through Dark King together, shattering and ultimately defeating him. By utilizing the Dione GT and Gigantliner GT Ride Kimi cards and the Valvarad driver, Kamen Rider Valvarad gained access to Valvarad GT and its GT High Pressures Off Extra Final movie forms, which were first and last used in the movie Gotchard Graduations. He showcased the form's abilities against Ouroboros, whom Gotchard and Majade had struggled to defeat, and after defeating him, he, with the help of the others, sent Ouroboros back to where he had come from. Hexenheim, introduced to us in the movie Invaders of the House of Snacks, is Gavv's extra final form, which he transforms into by using the Hexenheim Gochizo and the Henshin Belt Gavv. He used this form during his battle against Kamen Rider Carries, and by making use of its power, he defeated Carries at the end of a long battle. The secondary Gavv rider, Kamen Rider Valen, also transformed into his extra final movie form, Parfait Mode, by using the Chakarapa Gochizo and the Vrastum gear only in the Guilty Parfait, and after sufficiently showcasing this form to Izik Parut, he finished him off right there, bringing the movie to an end. As the latest rider from the Reiwa era whose movie form we will see for now, Kamen Rider Zeztz will transform into his new form, Zeztz Agendream, in Farewell Mission, which is set to be released next month. Zeztz will achieve this transformation by using Agent Capsum and the Zeztz Agent Driver. Although we currently know nothing about this form, not even its powers, abilities, or the opponent powerful enough to make Zeztz require its use, we will have to wait for the movie's release to learn more, and only then will we be able to form proper opinions about it, unless, of course, the upcoming trailers reveal something beforehand. What do you think about this form and its possible powers? Do you think Zeztz will use it to fight Kamen Rider Mugen, or will it be used against an entirely different enemy? That is all for today. Until we meet again in another Kamen Rider or Evolution video, goodbye for now.